What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Today is Sunday, June the 8th. June the 8th, 2025. June the 8th, 2025. We are entering the second week of June, so it's a new week, new opportunities in the markets. We're going to cover it. What's up, everybody? Make sure y'all leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. I'm going to give it a few minutes for some people to come in the live stream. If y'all got the link to the video or the live stream, go ahead and share it out for me. I would appreciate that. Share that link out for me. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let me get a quick roll call. Y'all shout out where y'all from. Let me get a quick roll call. City, state, country, region, whatever y'all want to shout out. Go ahead and shout that out for me. Let me get a quick shout out. Oh, what's up, Lenny? What's up, Lenny? Shout out to Chicago in the building. Shout out to Chicago. How's it going, Lenny? I haven't been hearing from you in a few days. How's it been going in life? How's it going? What's up, RG3? Are you RG3 that played for the Redskins? No, I'm playing. What's up? Shout out to San Antonio in the building. Shout out to San Antonio. Lenny, you said work has been crazy. Oh, always. I understand that. I understand that. When you get busy, I understand that. Get a few more minutes. We got a lot going on out here. We're gonna cover some news here in a minute. We got a lot of things going on in the world. I feel like a lot of distractions. We got some riots going on out there in LA right now. Matter of fact, let's not even waste time. Let's go ahead and come over there right quick, and then we're gonna cover the markets. What's up, ZZ? You said what's good? Manipulation going on all in the markets is crazy. ZZ, I teach us how we can thrive. We can thrive during manipulation if you learn how to trade. So nothing to panic about. If you're a long-term investor, I understand where the manipulation might frustrate you. But when it comes to short-term volatility and price action where you're looking for quick opportunities, that's when we thrive on manipulation and price. What's up, Jay Manson? Shout out to Austin, Texas in the building. Shout out to Austin, Texas in the building. Appreciate everybody joining, man. Smash that like button for me when y'all just coming in. If you're brand new to the channel, subscribe. I don't want to waste no time. I'm going to come back over and cover the market. So I got different segments during my live stream. So I want to go ahead and get some of this news out the way because we got a lot of distractions going on. And these things can impact price and impact the market. So politics, geopolitics, things going on in that nature, that could be a distraction for as far as the markets go. Lenny, you said you have an account funded and ready. Okay, you say you got an account funded and ready to trade soon. Oh, for sure, for sure. If you're not comfortable with doing your own trading, guess what, Lenny? I don't know if you caught it yet, but y'all go ahead and sign up to the Patreon. The link is in the description below. I am creating the signal service. It's almost complete. I got some touching up to do before I launch it. I'm going to try to launch it probably maybe towards the end of June, going into July, because I want to, the June contracts, the June future contracts are about to expire. So I might as well wait for the next contracts, the September contracts to come alive at the end of this month. So if you don't know, I got the futures. Go ahead and click the link in the description. Come over to the Patreon and look at what tier that you're looking to trade. I got it real specific, real detailed for you. Every tier, each tier is based on your goals or how much equity you're working with. So I got different tiers. I got the micro tier. I got the crypto futures. I got the mini futures, which that requires a little bit more capital. And then I got full access where you might want to trade all these different markets or whatnot. So definitely working on that, and it will be live soon. So if you're brand new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to that. ZZ said, go ahead and drop that shit. Got the funds ready to start. For sure, for sure. And then I also got to create some videos for I got some tutorial videos as well when it comes to this and how this is going to go. So I'm definitely working on that. What's up, Catch Up? I ain't seen you in a while. Shout out to you. Shout out, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining. Let's go ahead and come over to the news right quick. We'll come back to that in a minute. So we got some rioting going on out there in Los Angeles. For whatever reason, I feel like it's George Soros behind it. Y'all tell me if y'all are out in LA or been out there recently. Y'all let me know in the chat. What's the boots on the ground? We got a live feed. I'm not gonna stay on this long, but we need to at least cover it. We need to at least talk about it because I feel like what's her name? One of these senators was out there and talking. So let me go ahead and pull this up right quick. Let's get this out the way. So this is pretty much Donald Trump, his administration. They have pretty much launched the National Guard out there in California, in LA. Which that's a big deal. So, you know, let's see. And it's dealing with ICE and the deportation of human beings and whatnot. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just observing. I'm observing whatever the hell they put out to us. So I'm neutral on that.
David, what's happening where you are right now, and how are the local lawmakers reacting to the troops we see right behind you?
Yeah, Alex, so I am right outside the federal building in downtown LA, which is just across the street from the Metropolitan Detention Center. This is where this group of about, at this point, the number of troops has grown since I last spoke to you. About 24 National Guard troops with their vehicles have been stationed here all morning. There actually are traces of tear gas in the air. I'm not entirely sure where it's coming from. I don't know if it's residue from the last couple of days, but a number of people here have been kind of coughing and getting affected by it. In the last hour also, Alex, the tension has definitely gone up pretty significantly. There are more protesters here. A number of them are sort of walking right up to the National Guard troops. The troops have, on a couple of occasions now, tried to get people to move back out onto the street. I'm told that there's a march moving here from Boyle Heights, from Mariachi Plaza specifically, which is a sort of iconic, it's an icon of the immigrant community here in Los Angeles. As to your question about lawmakers, Alex, actually just a few minutes before we went to air, spoke with Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who represents a district in South LA where a lot of the activity has been over the last couple of days. She told me that she, just in the last hour, tried to gain access to the Metropolitan Detention Center, but was turned away by people who work there who did not identify themselves to her. So this is the second time in 2 days, Alex, that sitting members of U.S. Congress have been turned away from this detention center, which they have a legal right to visit for oversight purposes. Now, I asked her about her feeling about everything that's happening, the fact that the troops are here. Take a listen to a little bit of what she told me.
I think now I'm going to go out into the community to see if ICE is doing what it did last night. Okay.
Man, check out Maxine Waters. Isn't she supposed to be getting those crypto bills handled? You know what I'm saying? Isn't she supposed? And then her little self is protected by the National Guard, the federal agency. But isn't she supposed to be getting the crypto bills legislation passed? But she's out here on the front line. She out here with a little bottle of Fiji water, and she's on the front line of the riot. So I find that real interesting. Let's continue.
Issued tear gas out in these communities. I'm worried about what they possibly can do or what will happen. So I'm going to be around. I may try to come back. I'm going to try and call more elected officials to come out here because of these guards with these guns. I'm really frightened about the guns. I think one of these young kids might get excited.
Maxine says she frightened about the guns by the National Guard. So she's Democrat clearly, and you know Donald Trump pretty much launched the National Guard. You know he's a Republican, so her whole thing is she's frightened about the guns or whatnot. When her whole comfort as a congresswoman comes from America being dominant with military force. So I find that real crazy. How are you scared about the guns, but this whole shit was built on guns and butter, you know what I'm saying? Bloodshed. So I just find that funny, but let's continue.
It might get frightened and might use those guns.
Yeah.
Why would they bring guns here?
Alex, I did get a statement back from the Department of Homeland Security from Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin about why congressmen were turned away from this detention center yesterday. She told me that at the time the lawmakers tried to enter the federal building, more than 1,000 rioters had surrounded the building. And due to the rioting, the lawmakers were turned away in the interest of their safety and the safety of our law enforcement. Of course, that was yesterday when Representative Waters tried to enter the detention facility today. There was no, I mean, you know, this was the protest that you could see. It was actually not really particularly close to the detention center. I'll have to reach back out to them for comment about that turning away of an additional member of Congress in this instance. And as I mentioned to you last time, this also is happening as attorneys are also telling me that they've been turned away from this and other ICE detention centers where the people who have been arrested are being held. Alex, we're going to be here all day. Just based on how much the tensions have risen in the last hour since I spoke to you, I think that likely they are going to continue to rise during the course of the day as more and more people gather here in downtown LA to protest the presence not only of ICE and other federal agencies conducting immigration enforcement, but now also in a historical event that hasn't happened in many decades, the presence also of National Guard troops who are here without the authorization of the governor of California, Alex.
Well, listen, David, if they're coming in from Boyle Heights there, which is east of where you are by just about 3 miles, if you were going to go on the 101 freeway, they will be there soon. It is not far. Certainly, they're not going to be going along the freeway, but they will be making their way soon to you. Keep a very close watch. Let us know if we need to come back to you. Thank you so much, David. Let's go now to NBC's Gabe Gutierrez with new reaction from the White House today. So, Gabe, why did the Trump administration circumvent the California governor to send in the National Guard?
Well, certainly, Alex, this is something that President Trump has railed against for quite some time, this idea that Democrat-led cities, in the administration's view, don't pay enough attention to law and order. And the images you're seeing right now of National Guard troops on the ground in a major American city is what the White House wants to see. And they want that message to get across that they are taking this immigration crackdown seriously. Now, we also heard from administration officials throughout the day, including Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who was interviewed this morning. Here was her justification for why the president deployed those troops. Listen.
At the direction of the president in order to keep peace and allow people to be able to protest, but also to keep law and order. That is incredibly important to the president. Governor Newsom has proven that he makes bad decisions. The president knows that he makes bad decisions, and that's why the president chose the safety of this community over waiting for Governor Newsom to get some sanity. And that's one of the reasons why these National Guard soldiers are being federalized, so they can use their special skill set to keep peace.
And Alex, I'm also just learning from my colleague Kelly.
Hey, that's interesting how that works. The National Guard, they're supposed to be like the National Guard. Yeah, every state has its own National Guard. So it's funny how the federal government could come in and federalize them. And that pretty much goes completely against the National Guard. So they're pretty much the federal guard at the end of the day. So California, they're upset about that. And it's funny, man. It's funny. Distractions. Let's continue, and then we're going to move on.
O'Donnell, who says that a White House official told her that the president actually spoke to Gavin Newsom on Friday and said that he needed to get the police in gear because things were getting under control. So that is some news that the president spoke directly to Gavin Newsom again on Friday at these protests were getting underway. But this also should come as no surprise because the president has railed against not just Gavin Newsom, but also officials in Democrat-led cities really since the start of this administration, even going back to his first term. And he has also tried to make it a point that, and his borders are Tom Homan has as well, that if these local officials stand in the way of immigration enforcement, that they will then be prosecuted. Now, Tom Homan, in his interview with my colleague Jacob Sovroff, did make it clear that Governor Newsom and the Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass had not crossed that line just yet, but he did make it clear that if they did, that they would be prosecuted. But you see those live images right there of National Guard troops on the ground in Los Angeles.
The federal government banging on the California state government. Ain't that something? The federal government going against the state of California. And then the feds, they like, hey, you know, we're going to prosecute y'all if y'all don't stand down. So that shit crazy. So do you run your state or do you let the feds come in and run your state? So that's funny. That's funny.
Los Angeles, waiting to see if there is any more escalation of those protests throughout this afternoon. We'll certainly be watching, and the administration is watching too. Again, though, the president had already spoken with Governor Gavin Newsom, and he deployed those troops, even despite Newsom's opposition, Alex.
Opposition because Newsom.
All right, anybody in California in the building? Anybody in California in the building? Y'all let me know in the chat. What's the status out there in LA? I know I got a few LA subscribers, and we got a live feed from LA. So I got a live feed pulled up, and this is going on real time right here in the moment. So this is out there in LA. Let me see right quick. See if I can get some audio. And right now it looks like, it's a standoff between protesters. See some Mexican flags out there. Some other countries out there. Just heard some tear gas go off. And this is a live feed if y'all just joining of the protest going on in LA. We're going to get to the markets here in a minute, but we got to cover some news first. I like to get into the news, and this is what's going on currently in the moment. It's really not that large of it's a crowd out there, but it's like, LA got millions of people out there, so that's really a small segment of people. So are they kind of, which I already know, but are they kind of blowing this out of proportion a little bit? Because I've been to certain cities where they're protesting, and are they making it bigger than what y'all think it is? Are they trying to put the highlight? And another thing, you don't know if these people are paid agitators. You never know what's going on out here in society. You never know. They could be definitely putting on Hollywood theater right now. They definitely could be doing that right now. Okay, Lenny, you said there are multiple locations. Okay, appreciate you letting me know. This is new to me today, because I'm going to tell y'all, man, I've been locked in. Like, I have not been listening to nothing. It drains my energy to have to go look at all the things that they're putting out there in the world. What's up, Scott? You said we in the end game? This is the end game? Man, they been said we in the end game. They been said we was in the end game. They said in 2012 the world was going to end. Y'all remember that? In 2012 the world was going to end, but did it end? No, it didn't. Life keeps moving on. But yeah, this is a live feed out there in LA. It's kind of like it's just a standoff. We're gonna keep watching that. If y'all get any updates, let me know in the chat. We're gonna move on from this, but this is a live feed. Let's move on. Let me see what else I got for y'all. Crypto kingpins leave investors, executives on edge. Crypto kingpins. Oh, excuse me, not kingpin. Kidnappings. Crypto kidnappings are leaving investors and executives on edge. Let's see what this has to say. Apparently, there's been a rise in kidnappings and whatnot, but let's go ahead and see.
Welcome back. A recent wave of abductions across Europe and the United States have put crypto executives, investors, and their families on edge. Victims have reported being pistol whipped, kidnapped, and even tortured as criminals look to the digital system's vulnerability to collect millions of dollars in cryptocurrency ransom. Joining us now, the author of that new reporting, business reporter for Semaphore, Rohan Goswami. Rohan, you're writing that these concerns have grown after attackers stole information from the largest crypto exchange, that's Coinbase. So tell us what happened there and just how dire the consequences of that hack actually are.
Well, Ali, it depends on who you ask. Coinbase has described this attack as affecting a small subset of its 8 million monthly transacting users. Of course, that small subset, less than 1% they state, is still a large number. And those hackers obtained names, addresses, and account balances. In other words, everything that someone would theoretically need to carry out these kinds of targeted attacks that we've seen. Now, other outlets have also reported that federal regulators are probing this hack, right? The latest in a spate of crypto-related crime that has struck even as this administration has increasingly embraced crypto companies and cryptocurrencies as a part of America's financial system.
Yeah, and I think there's the larger question here of why are criminals resorting to physical crime instead of something more online in this space?
Well, investors are smart and resistant to the kinds of phishing schemes that proliferated in this space in the early days, right? If you think about a conventional bank account, it's actually really hard for any of us to take money out of that account, right? We can only take around $10,000 of cash out of a standard checking account, and banks can track anywhere that we send money to, right? That's not the case with crypto, theoretically, right? You can grab someone off the street, torture them, as some alleged instances have played out, and end up obtaining their crypto wallets, right? Which is can be a physical item.
Lenny, you said who would keep a lot of their assets on Coinbase? You would be surprised, Lenny. There's still a lot of people that aren't caught up to crypto and the way you should be doing it. There's still a lot of people that are leaving their assets on exchanges. They don't get it. Think about a lot of older people that just want to get involved with crypto. Even younger people. Some people like to still play meme coins. The only way to play meme coins is just to be on these exchanges. So some people don't get it. There's still a lot of people leaving their money because they think traditional. Like in the traditional markets, you use a broker. And, you know, those environments are regulated. See, these crypto, there's no regulations quite yet for these exchanges to be held accountable. Until we get some type of federal regulations, these exchanges are still vulnerable. They're still going to get hacked, and people are at risk leaving their capital on these exchanges. But once there's federal regulations and whatnot, some of these exchanges are going to have payouts for people losing people's capital. So we're not there yet. We're almost there. What's up, Ryan? What's up? Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Let me continue.
Item that contains up to millions of dollars worth in cryptocurrency. That's a lot easier, but also a lot harder, because cryptocurrency's advantage here, as you saw in a case in France, is that because it's traceable and trackable, theoretically, the authorities or issuers of so-called stablecoins can actually shut off the money that's sent as ransom or to these criminals.
Did you hear that? He said the stable coins could be shut off. So what does that tell y'all? What does that tell y'all? Let me play it one more time. What does that tell y'all about stable coins?
Authorities or issuers of so-called stablecoins can actually shut off the advantage here, as you saw in a case in France, is that because it's traceable and trackable, theoretically, the authorities or issuers of so-called stablecoins can actually shut off the money that's sent as ransom or to these criminals.
So what does that sound like to y'all? For you OGs that been in here for a while, do y'all understand crypto from top down? Stable coins, even people that was, you know, a few years ago, there's a whole new wave of people coming into crypto. What does that tell y'all about stable coins, that these issuers can shut these stable coins off if there's some type of fraud or illegal activity? What does that tell y'all about stable coins? I'm gonna wait for somebody to tell me in the chat. What does that tell y'all? Lenny, you said government control. Barton, shout out to you, Barton. We are not totally in control of our money. I'm looking for something more specific. Y'all are both correct, though. Y'all are both correct. I'm looking for something specific. And this is for the people that have been in this space for a very long time. Programmable what? The stable coin, all it is a CBDC. I don't know why people don't think. I think there was a time where people kind of like try to mix the two and kind of like throw people off, where they were saying like, you know, the stable coins aren't CBDCs. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. These stable coins are the CBDCs. This man just told y'all they can shut off stable coins. So if you're going to be deeply into this digital world, you better know they can shut off your stable coin, because it is the programmable CBDC. Let me read these comments. Echelon, you said that means stablecoins have defeated the whole purpose of having cryptocurrency. No, they haven't. Echelon, are you like, okay, Echelon, are you Bitcoin and go against the banks, or are you like Ripple, work with the banks? And I'm not getting at you or nothing. I'm just trying to see your answer. Because if you know about Ripple, you already know that they're going with the banks, Bitcoin people are against the banks, and there's two different narratives and two different spectrums. Scott, you said, but isn't that what we have currently? No, they can't really just are you talking about like they can shut you off out the banking system, but not with this type of control. Not with this type of control, because you can have cash, like that's unaccounted for. Like if you have cash outside the system, they can't necessarily trace and track that. And then they don't know where that cash is going to be. And then they can't completely shut you out, to be honest. They can't really completely shut you out if you're working with cash, or if you're working with like gold or silver. They can't shut you out. But if you're using purely stablecoin CBDCs, then you're giving up all that access and control. That's what's going on. You said Canada trucker. Well, that's Canada. That's in Canada. Like, okay. They're not going to do that in the United States. You don't hear, now they have done this in certain instances to like celebrities, but a nationwide ban of certain people not having access to the money, they have not done that. That is kind of pretty much like infringing, they're violating some constitutional rights right there when it comes to seizing your money and telling you what you can and can't spend. Now we have forms of it, but not complete control. CBDCs give you complete control. Scott, you said Ripple is going with the banks. If the banks use the protocol, they already shown you. If they already could trace and track transactions and whatnot, they could definitely, the programmable CBDC is here. I don't know why people think that's not going to be a thing. You just got to move correctly. When in Rome, that's the word when in Rome. When in Rome, you do as the Romans do. So that means, you got to play the matrix. The matrix is going to keep evolving. So you got to get in the matrix and evolve with it. That doesn't, you got to just move smarter. If you're going to be in this digital world, you have to be smarter. You must move smarter. Echelon, let me read this comment. Echelon, you said, I am new to this space. I'm actually just for whatever currency is going to get me paid. If having stable coins will give them just another reason to keep tabs on me, so be it. It just gives me all right. And that's what I mean, Echelon. That's what I mean by when in Rome. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Yes, they're going to have more surveillance, more tabs on you, etc. But you got to outsmart that system. You got to just be smart about what you're doing, how you're moving out here. That might mean knowing who you're going to be in relationships with. That might mean a lot of things. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be real strategic and smart. That's just part of the game. And another thing you should be doing is buying physical assets like gold, silver, real estate. Some things that they can't trace and track. Eventually, those things will be on the blockchain, but not initially. So you still got a window in time. I feel like you're going to be able to get rich or get wealthy and then move some of that money around and hide it, not show everything. And all governments are going to be different. So what they're doing up there in Canada might be different what they're doing in Mexico. What they're doing in Mexico is going to be different from what we're doing in the United States. So every government has their own jurisdiction, their own laws, and what they want to do. That makes me want to pull up the CBDC tracker. Lenny, you said I have physical gold and silver, off-chain assets. Yes, that's the perfect term, Lenny. Off-chain assets. So if you're new to this space, Ripple is working with the banks 100%, and they have the technology to they have the technology to make CBDCs or digital currencies programmable or non-programmable. You already know the elites are going to want the programmable currency. That's going to be a thing. This man just told you. I'm going to rewind it back one more time. This man just told y'all that the issuers of the CBDCs can pretty much pause and delete your money. So that's what they can do. Lenny, you said, and they were working with lots of governments. Yes. So if y'all are new, I've been here for years. I already know, like, I got documents, I got PDFs, I got all the information that I could possibly have when it comes to Ripple and what they're doing. And you already know, I believe they was advocating for some type of constitution, some type of currency constitution for that they won't have CBDCs. or programmable CBDCs. So if CBDC, there's nothing wrong with CBDCs until they make them programmable. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they're cool with not, but once they start programming them and wanting to like control, have complete control. So that's what I mentioned before. If you listen to me say it before, gun control. You got Maxine Water out there in California right now concerned about the guns by the National Guard. When, lady, you're in position because of the military. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure she walks around with armed security all the time, but she's worried about the National Guard having guns. But for them to get complete control of like gun bans, because they can't do it through circumventing the Constitution. They can't do it that way. So the other way they can do it is to make currency programmable. So whenever people go to the gun store, when people want to purchase firearms, and let's just say you have a record or a history or whatnot, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but if they want to completely ban firearms, they're going to do it through the currency, a programmable currency. Also with the cartels down in Mexico, Mexico is wanting to go digital. They're also on board with having a digital currency, a CBDC. And the cartels are currently transacting in pesos and dollars or whatnot. So if these two nations have programmable currencies, how are the cartels going to go around the money system? They're not going to be able to get around it. So these cartels eventually are going to have to go legit. They're going to have legit businesses. They're going to have to come on board with the real elites. The cartels think they're elites, but they're not. They're like, you come on board with the real elites, the people who control the currency. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. What's up, Lauren? Shout out to you, man. Peace, peace, peace. If y'all just joined us, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and finish this, and then we're going to move on.
Authorities or issuers of so-called stablecoins can actually shut off the money that's sent as ransom or to these criminals.
And so what are crypto enthusiasts saying about this? Is there any way for them to mitigate these potentially violent attacks?
Well, unsurprisingly, we've gotten quite used to corporate executives getting an.
So they kind of like, what I'm noticing right here, like they're kind of like slowly trying to show you and integrate that, yeah, these things going to be programmable. That's what they're doing right here. They're being slick because there's all this crypto crime going on, violent crimes or whatnot. But they sitting there trying to tell you, hey, yeah, these things are going to be programmable. They're going to be able to control them. So peep game. You always got to, dig through the weeds to understand what the real knowledge is.
Increased level of security since the assassination of Brian Thompson last year, right? Now, that's something that crypto executives have already started to do, but investors are now starting to do. There was an emergency and highly secured meeting in France, a summit of sorts with some of the most influential crypto investors in the country to discuss what the government could do to help protect those individuals. Separately, however, some people in the U.S. have taken this as an opportunity to actually call for a further rollback on crypto regulations. They argue that the money laundering controls that stop terrorists, criminals, violent offenders of all sorts from using crypto to launder money are actually what are hurting executives, right? Because you have to give your name and your address over to these crypto exchanges, something which you have to do with banks anyways.
It's a really concerning trend. Rohan Goswami, we thank you for helping us break it down.
And that's happening worldwide. So that's just not in the United States where that's happening at. Let me see what else I got for y'all. Then we're going to move on to the markets. Do I want to talk about some Russia, Ukraine information? Let me see right quick. We got terror attacks in Colorado. I don't think I really want to talk about that. A lot of distractions going on, all simultaneous, at once. All these things are happening at once. I don't find that ironic. I don't think that's random. But we want to pay attention to Russia, Ukraine. Let me play this quick video, and then we're going to move on. We're going to go to the markets. But let me play this quick video of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine and how they're utilizing these drones out here, and it's crazy. I find it interesting because technology is crazy. Warfare is changing, and it's interesting.
Welcome back, everyone. It was an unprecedented and well-executed Ukrainian drone operation deep inside Russia this weekend, followed today by a similarly brazen underwater attack on the Russian-built bridge connecting the Russian mainland to Crimea, the Ukrainian peninsula Russia has occupied now for more than a decade. Call it guerrilla tactics, call it asymmetrical warfare. But can Ukraine's bold operations actually force a recalcitrant Vladimir Putin to the negotiating table? We'll talk to ABC News military analyst Steve Gagnon about that shortly. But first, our Tom Sophie Burge has this report.
It was a series of stunning strikes on Russian airfields, damaging or destroying.
Y'all heard that noise? Them drones flying in the air. If you ever hear that, I hear that is the sign of death. And that's crazy to me. We living in a time where drones are they are feared. They are feared out there. Wherever you at on the battlefield or whatever, they flying them over cities. That is it's like a sign of paranoia whenever you hear those drones flying above. But that's interesting.
Ukraine says about a third of Russia's fleet of strategic bombers. Codenamed Operation Spiderweb, the attack was 18 months in the making. Ukraine's security service smuggling 150 rudimentary quadcopter drones into Russia, concealing them in secret compartments in containers. Russian truck drivers then unwittingly transporting those containers to locations close to 5 military air bases, 3 in western Russia and 2 in far eastern Siberia. On Sunday, the roofs of those containers suddenly opening and the drones loaded with explosives taking off. Each drone, Ukraine says, then piloted remotely towards a target. With Russia's defences caught off guard, the drones hurtling into those bombers parked on the ground, some of them capable of carrying nuclear weapons. Satellite imagery showing several badly damaged planes at 2 of the Russian air bases. Ukraine's Secret Service saying it destroyed a dozen aircraft and damaged around 30 more. It was a remarkable move from Ukraine, proving that despite being outgunned and outnumbered on the battlefield, it can still land impressive and embarrassing blows to the Kremlin, destroying the very aircraft which have been pounding Ukrainian cities with cruise and ballistic missiles for more than 3 years. And not for the first time, Ukraine's showing the world new ways of waging war, pioneering tactics, destroying sophisticated aircraft built for tens of millions of dollars, with drones costing just a few hundred.
Hey, yo, man, it is insane. They're using things that cost a couple $100 to destroy equipment that costs millions of dollars. Warfare got to evolve. I mean, I'm just saying, it's cheaper for war. I mean, it's just crazy. I have no words for it. Let's continue.
Ingenuity of Ukraine's attack reminiscent of Israel's covert operation against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Pages.
I don't know if y'all ever heard of that attack when Israel attacked Lebanon or whatever. They used signals from cell phones. So these cell phones were rigged up to detonate, and it had thousands of people that had these phones on them, and that shit was crazy. So warfare is not fair anymore. It is a different world. It's no longer traditional, trench warfare, helmets, soldiers, tanks. No. This shit is different, and it hit different. So it's crazy.
And walkie-talkies secretly loaded with explosives, distributed to Hezbollah and used by its members. The pages simultaneously exploding, then the walkie-talkies the day after, killing more than 30 people, wounding around 3,000. Today, with Russia still reeling from Sunday's drone strikes, another Ukrainian operation. Ukraine's Secret Service releasing this video saying it caused a powerful underwater explosion on part of the vast bridge linking Russia.
They're even using submarine drones, underwater drones, so it's getting crazy out here.
Russia to Crimea. No official comment from Russia so far, and there were no casualties. In Ukraine overnight, Russia striking back, attacking the center of the northern Ukrainian city of Sumy with cluster munitions, killing at least 4 people and injuring more than 20 more. Moscow demonstrating it still has many more bombers and missiles and vast stocks of lethal drones to continue escalating its war. But Ukraine is still savoring its success. President Zelensky calling that drone operation brilliant, and without naming the US, saying it shows allies that have wavered in their support that Ukraine is strong and will not surrender.
Those drone attacks.
In an interview with our Martha Raddatz, Zelensky warning Russia will pay a price if the war goes on.
And unless they will stop, we will continue.
Russian and Ukrainian delegations meeting for less than 90 minutes Monday in Istanbul, making no progress towards ending the war. Russia is now reportedly mounting a major summer offensive in eastern Ukraine. Today, one of Putin's top officials calling for the complete destruction of the Ukrainian regime and promising an even harsher retribution for that devastating Ukrainian drone attack deep inside Russian territory.
Welcome back, everyone.
All right, man, that's the news for the day. I feel like that war talk like that stuff has a direct impact on the markets. That kind of like, it definitely has an impact on the markets. So let's come over here to the charts. Let's come over here to the charts. If y'all just joining, man, make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. It is Sunday, June the 8th, 2025. We have began the second week of June. June is the last month of the second quarter, and we're pretty much stagnant right now before we enter the third quarter of the year. And so far, you can see all the things that's going on worldwide, geopolitically, nationally. All these things have direct impact on markets. Y'all might not believe that, but the markets are pretty much event driven. They're algorithmic, but they thrive. It's like fuel to a fire when certain events happen. So you always want to pay attention to what they're using as far as distractions and the flow of money. So while everybody is caught up in certain things, money is flowing around and they're positioning capital into certain assets, certain commodities, whatnot. They're positioning capital. So you are what you eat. So pay attention. Be mindful of what you're paying attention to. Let me cut this down a little bit. All right. We got XRP currently trading at 226. XRP currently trading at 226. We got XLM trading at 26 cents. We got XDC trading at 6 cents. HBAR 16 cents. We got Bitcoin 105, $105,000. I'm going ahead and anticipate we're going to continue to keep moving higher for Bitcoin. Ethereum 2,500. Not a fun asset to be in. Y'all let me know in the chat. Do y'all hold Ethereum? Anybody in the chat holds any type of Ethereum? Because I find it real interesting if some people are still in it, if they have taken profits, or if they're still holding on for future price action. Algo currently trading at 19 cents. ZBEC. How many of y'all hold ZBEC in the chat? We're going to talk about ZBEC. It's currently retracing right now. A lot of y'all talk shit about me. Not a lot of y'all, but a lot of people talk shit when I said, hey, ZBEC is potentially crashing. I had somebody come in here and say, hey, man, what the hell you talking about? ZBEC ain't crashing. It's just consolidating. But again, I do this all the time. I watch price constantly. Y'all press 1 if y'all tuned in earlier to my live stream this weekend. I did one yesterday, one today, where I was just tape reading price. That's how you study price, study the markets. Pretty much watching every candlestick paint on the chart, on the canvas, with a bias and a narrative. That's what we do. Appreciate y'all tuning in to that. Ryan, you said XRP should be number 2 spot right now. Hey, it's not though. It's not. So what can you do about it? Y'all tell me in the chat. If your asset, like for example, if XRP isn't performing how you would like it to perform, and y'all been watching my channel, what would you think I would tell y'all? Y'all let me know. First thing I want to look at is the dollar. No, first thing I want to look at is the economic calendar. So looking at the economic calendar. Oh, I got you, Ryan, because of ETH. But it's not though. So hey, it should be, but it's not. But eventually, sooner or later, it will. So don't, these things will weigh on your psychology. Because, damn, we've been saying that for what, 3-4 years now. It should be number 1. It should be number one. It should be number two. But nope, it's weighing on your psychology and it's not doing what we should think it should be doing. And that's because of manipulation and other factors. So looking at the economic calendar this week, we are entering the second week of June. Then we have 1, 2, 3 more weeks, or 2 more weeks after this week. So essentially 3 weeks left. We got start the week off. We don't have a lot of high impact news, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will end the week with a lot of high impact news drivers. I'm gonna expect some type of volatility Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Some volatility injections where institutions come in, they inject capital, liquidity in the markets, and push price around. Let me see right quick. That's the economic calendar. Let me go ahead and take a peek out to next week, 15th through the 21st. And that week, we have FOMC meetings. They got interest rates announcements that week. So next Wednesday, June 18th, we have interest rates announcements. And on the 19th, that's a bank holiday. So I'm expect most of the volume and the volatility to happen through Monday through Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, I'm not going to be interested in that week. So that's the economic calendar coming up. Pay attention to it. That is forexfactory.com. Next thing I want to look at is the United States dollar. The dollar is the world reserve currency. This is a monthly time frame. We have 22 days left to complete June, and then we will go into the third quarter. And as you can see, price has been selling off for the past several months. Whenever the dollar sells off, that's a risk on environment. You should start seeing asset prices go higher. We have been seeing the Nasdaq, the S&P 500. We've been seeing those markets rally higher. We have been seeing Bitcoin. We have been seeing gold go higher. Now, your favorite asset might not be moving at all, like XRP, but that's because of certain factors. Like I said, these markers are event driven. So somewhere in the market, somewhere in time, somewhere in the charts, it is programmed in price for XRP to do what it does. So at some point, some type of event, some type of announcement, randomly, when you least expect it, is going to pop out. That could be regulations, that could be different things. But at some point in the markets for XRP, I expect some type of unknown factor to present itself, and that can jolt price and move it higher or lower. We shall see. What's up, Lawrence? Silver? Okay. I'm going to talk about silver here in a minute, and gold. But as you can see, dollar selling off. And I get what you're saying now. Yes, silver too going higher. I've called it again. Let me come to my channel right quick, because 1 second. Let me pull it up right quick. Come to my channel. Come to my channel right quick. We're gonna talk about. I'm gonna come back right quick. Let me go to my videos or whatnot. Scroll down. So back 2 months ago. This is kind of like catchy, whatever. Will silver hit $100? I believe it will, but I was talking about 2 months ago, silver breaking out. So I've been on this, you know what I'm saying? I've been on silver for a very long time, telling people silver is breaking out. So that was 2 months ago. Damn, that seemed like it was like last year, but that's time for you. Let's come back over here. Where was I just at? The dollar. So yes, the dollar, as it sells off, that's a risk on environment. That means dollar goes lower, commodities go higher, assets go higher. Whenever the dollar rallies and gains strength, that's a risk off environment, and assets, commodities typically go lower. So the dollar has been selling off for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months now. The dollar has been in a sell program. Y'all should know those terms. The dollar has been in a sell program for the past 6 months, ahead of what have y'all been anticipating and expecting from the Federal Reserve? If at some point, they've been talking about it for months now. At some point, what is the Federal Reserve planning to do? Or what should we see them do? We have been seeing people call for this. What should they do with the interest rates? And y'all, based on your answer, we're going to show you what price has been doing ahead of that. So what do y'all think they should do? Should they lower the interest rates? Should they pause it? Or should they continue to raise? Should they come back and raise the interest rates? Y'all let me know in the chat. Scott, you said cut the rates. And again, I've been seeing channels and people speculate that they're going to do this for months. I mean, they have lowered the rates for months, and you can see it in the dollar. The dollar showing weakness because they're cutting rates. That makes, whenever they cut interest rates, that makes capital cheaper to borrow. Money becomes cheaper to borrow. So banks, corporations, individuals, they start borrowing more money and taking out loans because capital is cheaper. Also, whenever the dollar is going lower, that's the money printer on. So as they cut the rates, that's a signal that they're going to cut that money printer on. And you could, ahead of that, before any announcement for the past 6 months, you could see the dollar selling off before they even announce, hey, we're going to go ahead and cut the rates even more. So that's what I mean by price is algorithmic. It's already baked in price, what they're going to do, because just look at charts. Most people don't look at charts. Most people aren't insane like me watching charts all day. So you can see how price has been selling off for the past several months ahead of an interest rates announcement cut. Do you think that's random or is that algorithmic? Also, we got liquidity resting below the market down here, sell side liquidity. Also, we got this higher time frame order block from the 6 month time frame. Got that order block on that 6 month time frame. So if I go out to the 6 month time frame right here, each one of these candles takes 6 months to complete. So every candle represents a half a year. And we got 21 days for the half of the year to complete. The first half of the year ends in 21 days. So it's going to be very interesting going into the second half of the year to watch how the dollar trades. Once we enter the second half of the year, we're going to keep up with where that dollar goes. And I'm right now bearish on the dollar. My bias is bearish on the dollar. So I want to see how we close right here. And then when we open up in 21 days, the second half of the year, I'm going to want to see it come down and take out sell side liquidity and then drop down into this order block right here. Inside of that order block right there, we got, what is this right here? Y'all tell me in the chat. What is that right there? We're forecasting the dollar. By forecasting the dollar, that helps and aids us to forecast other markets. So what is that right there in the chat? What is that right there? Shout out to you, Lawrence, for paying attention. That is a BOSSI. That is a 6 month fair value gap in the form of a BOSSI, which stands for buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency right there. 6 month fair value gap. Not only is that 6 month fair value gap inside of this order block, I want to find the midway point of the order block. So I'm going to take a Fibonacci from the opening price down to the close. And we're going to find and determine what's called the mean threshold. The mean threshold is the midway point of the order block right there. And do you think it's random? Because I don't think it's random that the midway point of this order block is resting directly at the discount of this BOSSI right here. That's not random. That is algorithmic. So we got our discount levels laid out. We have our discounted levels laid out for the dollar. I am bearish on the dollar. We're anticipating interest rates to be cut. I don't know if they do it in June, but at some point, it kind of makes sense for them to go ahead and cut it right before we go into the second half of the year. So we're anticipating interest rate cuts. I'm bearish on the dollar. There's liquidity resting below the market, and we got discounted levels. So those are scenarios for y'all to be bearish on the dollar. So as the dollar is bearish, that means that's a risk on environment, and we're bullish for other markets. Let me see right quick. Now let's come to XRP. And as you can see, if y'all caught my live stream earlier, this was me live watching price live. If we want to just back test this, so what we have right here, this is a 5 minute time frame intraday on XRP. This is great study because we're going to be trading futures. If y'all don't know, or if y'all haven't signed up yet, go to the Patreon. It's not live yet, but I got the signals coming right here. If y'all want to sign up, figure out what tier fits you and sign up for the Patreon. But I will be doing signals for the futures market. So as I'm doing signals, I come in here and I study price each session. So if you're interested in the signal services, I'm going to be trying to get y'all in and out scalping type trading. So we'll be trading each session. So the AM session, the lunch session, the PM session. I live streamed this earlier. So let's just start with the AM session. So earlier this morning, the AM session starts from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Let me throw up my dividers right quick. 1 second. Throw up my daily dividers, my weekly dividers. Right there. So early this morning, Sunday, we rally higher. We out the gate. I was asleep early in the morning and whatnot. And by the time I seen price doing what it does, I come to the charts, and what it did was it rallied up and took out this old high from weeks ago. So this old high right here, all the way back from June the 3rd. That wasn't weeks ago. That was a few days ago. But from June the 3rd, last week, we rallied higher and we swept that liquidity above the market. We went up, took out buy side liquidity. You see that? We react to it, and we're inside of a daily fair value gap, highlighted in green. So we rallied up, took out their liquidity. Smart money offload their long positions because they was already in earlier in the day. See, from down here, they was already in the market. So let's just hypothetically say you found the opportunity right here. There's a BOSSVISION right there. You could have entered on that early in the morning, 5 a.m. That's around the London session. And then you could have held that all the way up to take profit right here, which was that high from June 3rd. So smart money offload their long positions and they're out the market. And after that, you can see price just chop around the rest of the day. It's Sunday, so Sundays aren't typically the best days to trade, but there's still opportunities if you know what you're looking for. So after the AM session, I highlighted this high right here, this swing high. See that swing high? I highlighted that high right there. That represents buy side liquidity. There's pending orders up there. So if you missed the AM session, you wait for the lunch hour. The lunch hour goes from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So after every session, I highlight the previous session high and the previous session low. So we got the previous session low right here, previous session high. We roll over into lunch. And what does lunch session do? It goes higher. It triggers the orders at this high right there, liquidates those buy orders or buy side liquidity. And then it just goes into a consolidation the rest of the lunch hour. That lasted several hours. Okay. So after we liquidate that high, I get the high from the lunch hour right there. I get the high from the lunch hour. That is buy side liquidity. Remember, we highlight the previous session highs and lows if you're trying to scalp or be a session trader. We wait for the PM session to begin, 1:30 p.m., 4 o'clock p.m., because pretty much lunch was just a consolidation. Because why did it consolidate during lunch? Because the AM session was very bullish and then the London session was very bullish. So that's that expansion, retracement, consolidation right there. You see that consolidation? So the next few sessions, it just consolidates. But you still want to identify the liquidity. So we go over to lunch. We kind of chop around during lunch. This pink highlighted area, that's a 5-minute fair value gap. We drop down in there several times. And eventually we go up. And right there at the end of the session, 4 o'clock p.m., we take out the lunch hour high. You can see it sweep it. These are all algorithmic things, all algorithmic price action. We sweep that high right there, and then price breaks down, goes back into the range, and then it pretty much sells off, takes out the PM session lows, the lunch hour lows, and then now we still got the AM session low still intact. And we just began the new week of trading here at 8 o'clock. So 8 p.m. begins the new week of trading. And we're gonna follow London here in a minute. We're gonna go look at London. So let me go ahead and set that up. A London session Asia. Asia session goes from 8 o'clock p.m. 12 o'clock midnight. So we just entered Asia. Asia session trading is now in session. So let me highlight that right quick, and we're gonna come back to that after we do a more macro analysis. Asia session. If y'all just joined, man, smash that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all joining, getting this insight. Most people ain't gonna give it to you like this. So let me go ahead and zoom out. Let's go out to a higher time frame. Let's go ahead and begin setting up for the week. So I want to start on the 3-month. Let me remove some of these things. I used these things during the live stream earlier today. And 3-month time frame. We got 22 days left to complete the quarter, which is the second quarter of the year. So in 22 days, we will begin the fourth quarter of 2020. I'm not the fourth quarter, third quarter of 2025. So we got 22 days left, and we will end the first half of the year. So same things apply. I want to see how we close this candle. I'm not really too much interested in price right now until we close this candle on the 3-month time frame here in 22 days. So let's drop down to the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, let me clean this up right quick. Hide some of this. Got a lot of stuff. I gotta redo my charts when I get off of here as well. But on the monthly time frame, we got 22 days left. So far this month, we dropped down, took out sell side liquidity from last month, which was May. And now we're just ranging. We're still hanging out inside of this wick. But let me get a little closer. We got 3 weeks left in the month of June. Let's go down to the weekly. And we just began the weekly candle. So the new weekly candle has began. Let me hide some of this right here. Clean that up. Clean that up. So y'all in the chat, we need to find a bias. We need to determine our directional bias for the week. We need to determine our directional bias for the week. So I'm gonna ask y'all in the chat. Need the participation. Let me get the participation. What side of the market do y'all see price reaching for? We do this every week. This is basic, very generic, very basic. It's nothing to it. Do y'all see price coming up, taking out previous week's high? Because there's liquidity, which are pending orders above that old high, or do y'all see us coming down and taking out previous week's low, which there are pending orders below that low right there? Y'all tell me in the chat, do y'all see us coming up high or lower? What's your directional bias? And then we're going to stick to that, and we're going to review that later on in the week. And give me a brief answer. Why do y'all think so? Scott, you say high. So why do you think high? I mean, you could be real brief. It could be real short to the point. Why do you think this week's candle that just printed, so it just literally opened 14 minutes ago, we have 7 days. So there's 7 daily candles inside of this weekly candle. 7 daily candles inside of this weekly candle. And you're determining that we come up and take out at minimum that high. Jay Manson, you say old high. I mean, it's obvious why it should, but for y'all to become better at doing this, y'all need to have more. You need a better answer. Why should we come up here? Why should we come up here and take out that high right there? If I was not around, would y'all be able to do this every week, every day? So every weekly candle, every monthly candle, every hour, could y'all determine the bias for the direction? Is it simple? Am I making it simple for y'all, or do y'all need a little bit more details? Hopefully I'm making it simple, but I'm gonna go ahead and say my bias so far this week, I'm bullish. It can go up, take out this high, and then come back down and sell off, but my minimum target would be this high right here. Okay, that's the type of answer I'm looking for, Mark. I appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate the participation, because you said there's more liquidity above the market, which that makes sense. Remember, price always is going to seek liquidity like a magnet. It's always going to want to reach for the pending orders in the market. The smart money, the institutions, the algorithm, they leave behind pending orders scattered throughout the market. They leave behind orders above the market. They leave behind orders below the market. And the algorithm is going to constantly want to seek liquidity at all times. So let's go ahead and take a closer look, and let's drop down to the daily. On a daily time frame, we just opened up. It is Monday in Asia. So it is Monday in Asia. It's still Sunday in the States. And Now that we have a weekly bias, we say, hey, we want to see price come up higher and take out this high right here. This high right here was the high from last week. Or was it? No. Let me go out right quick. Let me go out one time. Let's see. Okay, right there. So yes, we want to see price come up and take out previous week's high. So even on the daily time frame, y'all do the same thing. You want to do the same thing. You want to see it come up and determine a bias. You want to at least see it come up, take out previous day's high, which was Sunday's high. As you can see, we're hanging out inside of this highlighted area right here. This highlighted area is a inversion fair value gap. What makes it an inversion? It was a BOSSI, which stands for buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. It was a BOSSI in the form of a fair value gap, and we traded directly through it. We cut directly through it. Anytime you see that, that then makes it an inversion gap, meaning we can trade through it, use it as support and resistance. So we traded through it. We traded back up into it, used it as a resistance, and we sold off, took out liquidity, and then we traded back inside of it. So it's inversion. Now we could trade it through it again and use it as support and come up higher. You need to add your Fibonacci like this and find out where the quadrants are. The quadrants are the midway points. So we got the midway point of the gap, and then we got the upper quadrant right here. We got the lower quadrant, and you can see us trade back through the gap, and then we can look to see if the upper quadrant right here would like to use price as support and push it higher and take out the liquidity. So that's what I'm looking at. Even though I don't have all these things on my charts, I'm looking at that. I'm paying attention to that. So we're bullish. So next thing we want to do is let's drop down intraday or intra-week. Let's drop down intra-week. And let's go ahead and set up our chart for the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up my daily and my weekly divider. So if you never learned this, sign up to the, click the link in the Patreon. I got lessons. I got people that been through the lessons. So y'all should understand this. So here we are so far this on the hourly. We already took out previous week's high. So you see this high right here? We already swept that on Sunday. And I highlighted that during the live stream earlier. So we already swept through that high right there on Sunday. So the first thing you want to do is on the hourly time frame, you want to determine last week's high and low, intra-week. So I determined the low from last week, the high from last week. We already took out the high, so it's now no longer important to me. And then we got previous week's high from 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, and so forth. So I already got all that liquidity still resting in the market. And let's zoom in a little bit. On the hourly time frame, I already highlighted these things during the live stream from earlier. These are 1 hour fair value gaps, and we're also hanging out inside of the daily inversion gap, and we're looking at the upper quadrant as well. We're looking at that upper quadrant. I don't have it highlighted right now. So next thing I want to do is we already took out last week's high. We already took out last week's high already on Sunday. Let me go ahead and set up my charts for the week, pull up my daily dividers. And what we want to see is I want to see price come up. I'm going to aim for the high from 2 weeks ago. I want to aim for the high from 2 weeks ago, which will be up here, buy side liquidity. Boom, just like that. That is going to be my target. What does that look like on the daily time frame? Let's go out to the daily. One second, y'all. 1 second. I'm clustered up over here. I need to organize my charts. I'm going to do that when I get off live stream. I'm definitely clustered up. I've been working on too much lately. All right. So at minimum this week, and it doesn't have to play out like this, we can consolidate all week. But at minimum, I want to see price come up and take out this high right here. That high was the high from 2 weeks ago. And we got a daily SIBI right here, a daily SIBI. right there. So I want to see us reach up for this level. That would be a price level of 235. That's what I want to see price reach up for. Yeah, it already took it, and that can happen, Barton. We took out last week's high, and that's okay. That just shows me, okay, out the gate early in the week, we're kind of bullish. Right now, we took out last week's high, and now we're retracing this high right here. See that high right there? I'm gonna highlight that right quick. Right there. I'm gonna shrink it a little bit. So you see that high right there? That high right there was last week's high, that swing high, last week's high. Do you think it's random that price trades up above it like that and it starts breaking down? No, that's not random at all. I actually highlighted this during my live stream. I didn't talk. I didn't do any talking, but I highlighted it. Now we're retracing down to what? These hourly BOSSI, buy side and balance, sell side inefficiency. So let's drop down a little closer. Let's get a little closer to price. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Go down to the 15-minute time frame. Let's focus on the Asia session. Asia goes from 8 p.m. to 12 o'clock midnight. So right now, if I was bullish, right now, because price is already selling off, I would not be trying to chase this because it's already expanded lower. So I would be looking to buy this back. So I'm bullish on the week, I'm bullish on the day. What do? You don't want to chase price. You pretty much want to wait for it to come down to your significant price levels. So they got this hourly BOSSI that is a discounted fair value gap. So you could look to purchase that. But you got to be careful because we might want to come down, sweep this low, which was the AM session low, and then we got an hourly BOSSI down here. So you got to kind of watch price. Let's get a little closer to price. Go down from the 15 to the 5-minute. We are in the 8 o'clock hour, so from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, that's the hour that we're focusing on. And every hour has quarters. Every hour has quarters, so every 15 minutes is a quarter within an hour. So from 8 o'clock to 8:15, there's 4 quarters in an hour. 8:15 to 8:30, 8:30 to 8:45. Every 5 minutes or every 15 minutes, you could look for some type of trade setup. Right now, price was low resistance. So you see that low resistance sell off? There was a low resistance liquidity run right there. But now it's kind of like chopping up a little bit. So you gotta, that's why I said I would not be trying to chase this if I was trying to short this price action right here. I'll be trying to wait for it to come down to a discount. Go down to the 1 minute. I don't like nothing in this right here. Like in this quarter right now. So from 8:15 to 8:30, I don't like nothing in this right here. There's nothing clean about this. High resistance. So whenever you don't see nothing clean, you automatically say high resistance. See how this chopping is in here? No real efficient fair value gaps, order blocks, nothing. So this price move is pretty much already happened. It's already underway. So the entry point would have been right here when price traded up into that, and then you would be holding this. But what we want to do is watch it sell off, and come down to this 1 hour fair value gap. So while it's doing that, I'm gonna come back to it. Let's go ahead and look at ZBEC. Let's talk about ZBEC for y'all who own ZBEC. Y'all press 1 if y'all own ZBEC. How are y'all holding up? Y'all tell me in the chat, how are y'all holding up with ZBEC so far? How's it going with ZBEC? I ain't being funny. I'm just trying to, get some sentiment out there because it's been real quiet with ZBEC. Where's all the hype at? Where's all the hype at from the people that promoted ZBEC? Y'all talk to me in the chat now. Y'all talk to me. Where's all the hype at when it comes to ZBEC? Let's come over to YouTube. I haven't done this in a week or two or whatever. Let's come to YouTube. I'm going to type in ZBCN. Let's type in ZBCN, ZBEC. So 4 hours ago, this guy says ZBEC is winding up for a monster move. Okay. Okay, ZBEC is on edge of a cliff. FOMO buying pump chasers will get wrecked. I agree with that. I agree with that right there. ZBEC is on a cliff. FOMO buying pump chasers will get wrecked. That was 7 hours ago. ZBCN, this could be it. Pay attention to this date. ZBEC network price prediction. Okay. He ain't talking about shit. ZBCN, 48 hours before this happens. Liftoff. See, they don't know what they talking about. ZBEC network token unlocked. Shit, Let me see. ZBCN back from the dead. Look what just happened. It's definitely dead. It's not back from the dead. It's definitely dead. And it's funny because they say back from the dead. When did it die? Like, at what point did it die? Because just a week or two ago, it was going crazy. Catch up. You said poor profits ran. Okay, everybody didn't pull profits. Catch up. Some people still caught up in this, so everybody didn't pull profits. Some people are holding on to this and watching it like a deer in headlights, trying to see what it's going to do. XRP and Ripple ZBEC. See, that this is a thing that they do. You know, they like to compare. They like to put ZBEC and Ripple in the same title, and it says it's about to happen. Okay, what's about to happen? We got XRP pretty much consolidating and waiting for the quarterly close, and ZBEC retracing. But I use this as sentiment. I like to go look at sentiment. Oh, look right here. I'm not concerned about ZBCN. Here's why. Why? Okay, where's this sentiment come from? I think I watched a video from this dude. He said, I'm not concerned about ZBCN, but here's why. Okay, where did that sentiment come from where you're not concerned about it? Was there an ounce of concern? Did you think about having concern? Because just a week or two ago, it was going crazy. Everybody was hyping it up. But now it's, oh, I'm not concerned about it. That's funny about it. That's funny. That is very funny. But that's the public sentiment. But let's come back over here to ZBEC. Come back over here to ZBEC. It's currently zooming down, which I warned people about this. I did a whole live stream about this. Come back to my channel. Let me scroll down. Where did I say it at? Right here. This live stream right here. I got a lot of kickback from this. I said, I warned you, ZBEC collapsing. Look, this was 11 days ago, and this was before it started pulling back. I said, I warned you, ZBEC is collapsing, and I already seen it coming before it happened. So y'all tell me what y'all think about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here sending the warning out before it actually does what it does. Now people talking about, well, I'm not concerned about it. Okay. And that's what you're seeing right now. We opened up the month of June, and right out the gate, just like that. Let's take a little closer look. Let's go down to the weekly. On the weekly time frame. Again, we just began a new week of trading. And I'm going to ask y'all in the chat. This applies to all markets, all asset classes. What side of the market do you see price reaching for? Do you see it just automatically coming up, taking out buy side liquidity and breaking all new time highs? Or do you see it selling off, coming down, take out previous week's lows? And then y'all tell me in the chat, what is this down here? Y'all tell me in the chat, what is that right there? This area in price on the weekly time frame. What do y'all see? What do y'all see in the chat? If y'all just join and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Anybody know what that is? Waiting for engagement, waiting for the response. Waiting for the engagement, waiting for a response. But I'm going to go ahead and highlight it for y'all anyway. What is that right there in the chat? What is that? What am I referring to? It is a BOSSVISION. It stands for buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. It is a void in price It's a discounted price. So it's obvious in the markets where price wants to reach for. It wants to come down, take out last week's lows, and then trade down into a fair value gap. Now, do we get that this week? Yes, I believe we get that this week. And it's going to be very interesting for the people that hold ZBEC. How many of y'all chase this? A lot of y'all quiet up in here too. I'm assuming some of y'all chase this, and y'all real quiet right now. Y'all tell me in the chat, did y'all buy this? Y'all can be honest with me. I'm not gonna judge you. Y'all can be honest with me. Who holds this, and then how is it performing for you in the moment? It's okay to be honest. You're not gonna win it all. You're not gonna always win in trading. You're gonna get some losers, and that's okay. But a lot of people are quiet. Barton, let me read this comment. You say, thanks to you, I have mapped out 10 cryptos for the week and understand BISI, SIBI, Ghost Pools, liquidity, fair market value, and the truth about the algos. Shout out to you, Barton Keys. Shout out to you, or Barton Key. Yes, that's because the reason you soaked it in, man. I've been giving out free game for the longest, and you took advantage of the free game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I sat out here and just I was teaching just publicly every day, and you caught wind of it, and now you're doing your own analysis. And shout out to you. That's what I want to see. I wanted people to become smarter about technical analysis. My channel is a technical analysis channel, and that's what I primarily do. I'm a trader first. All the other stuff is just entertainment at the end of the day. Hopefully I'm also some good form of entertainment as well, but mainly education. But yeah, I'm bearish on ZBEC. I warned y'all about a week or two ago, or 11 days ago. Barton, you said you still be listening to people talking about it's going to $100. Yeah, you never heard me give no outlandish price predictions. No, because that ain't how price works. And I give you the realistic, professional way to do that. I give you a realistic, professional way on how to do that, analyze the markets, because I'm a professional. I'm a professional when it comes to price action and being a technical analysis. That's the way I was taught. I had a mentor of 30 plus years, and I got real insight, real perspective on how these markets book. So I just got to lend that knowledge to other people. And it's never too late to do this. Unlike, you know, working in the job force, starting a career late, going to school, going into the NBA, the NFL, you know, all those things. No, there's never too late to pick this up, because this isn't going anywhere. This isn't going anywhere. This is a recession-proof career. This is a recession-proof. It's actually damn near depression-proof. So with that being said, man, if y'all haven't signed up to the Patreon, y'all come over here and sign up to the Patreon. I got a signal service. I got lessons. Y'all come over here, click the link in the description below, and figure out what y'all would like to subscribe to. Let's move on. That's ZBEC. I'm bearish on ZBEC. What are some things that are y'all interested? I got everything pulled up right here, but what are some things y'all want to see? It's not really, it's June. It's summer just kicking off. It's June. Markets are pretty much, the markets go kind of dry during the summer months. If y'all don't know that, I'm letting y'all know. There's always opportunities. That's why we're going to transition into futures trading. And we're going to primarily focus on trading futures, where there's constant opportunities compared to long-term investing. There's only a few opportunities right now. I think, let me go look right quick. Nope, XLM ain't at a great opportunity. Right now, XDC is the best opportunity in the market right now. XDC on the 3-month time frame, currently trading at 6 cents. It's hanging out inside a discount right here. So whenever price is at a discount, you pull the trigger. But aren't y'all, a lot of y'all have fatigue of investing. A lot of y'all having fatigue. Either you've over-exhausted your capital. You know what I'm saying? You over-exhausted your capital, so you over-invested into crypto. You really can't bear too much more investing because you're not seeing immediate price appreciation, or you don't have the capital to invest, or your bills are hitting. You know, there's so many scenarios why people had that fatigue and the markets aren't really performing like you would like them to perform. So whenever the markets aren't performing like you like them to perform long term, you develop a short-term day trader's perspective, and you come to the futures market and you trade derivatives products. That's what I'm trying to say. What's up? Good. What's good, Big Dre? Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Barton K, you said I'm your mentor, even you don't even know it. Okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'm a responsible mentor. Hopefully you're taking in a lot of information. Y'all gotta mind me, I'm kind of tired today. I'm kind of tired, but I got some energy. I'm trying to get through this. So if I kind of pause, don't mind me. Just trying to clear my mind. I've been up very early. XDC is at a great opportunity. H-bar currently consolidating, but it's also at a discounted opportunity. Every time it drops down into this orange highlighted area, that's an opportunity to pull the trigger, but that's the second best opportunity. Other than that, there's not much opportunity. Everything else is at a premium. Like Bitcoin is at a premium. XRP is not at a discount for me. So if you zoom out, you want to get that long-term perspective, XRP is still at a premium. It is not at a discount. We are in an expansion profile, so there's no discount. The discount was back in April when we dropped down to $1.61. Now we're up to $2.26. So y'all can pull the trigger on that if y'all like to. You're going to be paying extra capital at a premium. Other than that, there's only a handful of assets that are at a deep discount. It's only a handful that's at a deep discount. So XDC is one of them. XDC is one of them. Gold premium. We're going to be focusing on gold futures as well. If y'all want to sign up to the Patreon, we're going to focus on gold futures. Silver. Yeah, somebody mentioned silver. Silver is quietly breaking out. You're not seeing any headlines about silver. Matter of fact, let's go to Google right quick. Let's go to Google. Type in silver. Let's go to news. And we got some articles, but it's like not every day, not in your face. Silver surges to 36 cents, highest level since 2012. Silver surges past $35 an ounce. Level to hit more than 13-year high. Mining sector rotation into juniors in a major silver breakout. One of the world's largest copper, gold, and silver deposits discovered. Let me see, full coverage. And yeah, just very quiet on silver, man. Not a lot of attention on silver. Not a lot of attention on silver. So I definitely been out during the pandemic years, like the 2020s, the 2021s. That's when I was going in on silver. And it is currency and it's a store of value and shit. It's outperforming the dollar. It's definitely outperforming the dollar. So you can see the highlighted area right here, the fair value gap. This is a 6-month time frame. 6-month time frame right here. So when the market dropped down a discount, I was in there scooping it up very long time, and now it's quietly breaking out right behind gold. If you want to look for an opportunity to buy silver, you have to drop down the lower time frames, go down to the daily. Yeah, they're not giving any opportunities, just like gold. They're not giving any opportunities to buy silver at a discount. Every time it retrace, for example, you see this BISI right here, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Well, normally we will highlight that right there. Boom, just like that. Fair value gap. But guess what? It didn't drop down there to trigger your orders, or it didn't drop down there for you to pick up the phone or order online your physical silver. So it didn't give it. And then boom, expansion higher. And now there's another one right here. But do we want to retrace down into that? And if we do, well, you'll be paying a price of $35 an ounce, which that's at a premium. That's at a premium. So I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that $35 an ounce. But It's definitely breaking out. I don't see nothing stopping it. I want to see it come up and liquidate these highs, attack the old highs in the market. And that high right there will be the previous all-time high that formed in 2011. 2011. They said 2012 on the article, but in the charts, I got 2011. Actually, that was April 2011, and the previous all-time high was $49. So it's definitely going to blow past $49. And like I said, I just showed y'all on my channel, silver going to can silver go to $100 an ounce? What do y'all think in the chat? In what time period? I like to do this right here. What time period do y'all still see silver going up to $100 per ounce? Y'all give me a time period, a time frame. Do y'all see it doing it in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, 20, the next 2 years? What do y'all say in the chat for silver? What do y'all say in the chat? Mark, you say in the next 2 years, silver going up to $100 an ounce. Lawrence, you say the next 5 years. Those are good time frames. It's definitely, silver is a long-term asset, but it could definitely catch people off guard. And then also, what I'm thinking is, y'all also know silver has utility as well. So if you missed the beginning of the live stream, I showed y'all videos of drone warfare between Ukraine and Russia. Some of these technologies require silver. So, but also they're also finding new silver deposits and gold deposits on Earth. So y'all do it with that as you will. Those are also factors, because silver is limited. It isn't like unlimited. It has a limited supply, and then there's different use cases for silver. So we shall see what silver does in the next 5 to 2 years. But I think possibly, let me come back over here to silver. Possibly by the end of the year, possibly, don't take my word for this. Either the end of the year or sometime next year, 2026, silver will break its all-time high. I'm going to go ahead and say that right there. I'm going to say that right there. By the end of the year or possibly 2026, silver breaks its all-time high. Lawrence, you say $46? Are you saying that by the end of the year? $46 by the end of the year? Okay, that's a good call out. I'm gonna go ahead and round it up and say 50, because the all-time high is 49. I'm gonna go ahead and say it breaks 50 by the end of the year or going into the second quarter of 2026. Silver, you say silver is a good buy. In my honest opinion, based on what I do, is not a good buy right now. You should have bought it back in 2020, 2021. 2022. Right now, you can see it running off. It's not at a good buy. You're going to be buying it at a premium, so you can get caught chasing it. Now, I understand if you want to go ahead and swap some of that fiat out for a physical metal. And then some of y'all might just be looking at price. Y'all might see, oh, $35. That's not expensive. Look at it compared to gold. That's not what I do. Every market has a premium discount built in. They're always going to offer some type of discount. They're always going to offer some type of premium. And based on what I do, that's how I view the markets. That's how I analyze price. And the discount clearly was during this retracement. You see it? This retracement down. You want to be a buyer when price goes down. So you see how price sells off and goes down? That's when you look to buy. And this applies to all markets. And then when price goes higher, as you can see, you don't want to look to buy when it's going higher, because guess what? You're going to be buying at premiums. It's just going to keep pushing higher, and then the price that you're positioning in, you're not really getting returns off where you're chasing it. You want to be a buyer when price goes down. You want to be a seller when price goes higher. So you better believe. And if you don't know, silver is also controlled by the derivatives markets. I'm going to look at the silver futures contract in a minute. But for example, people are going to be offloading futures contracts when it breaks all-time high. They're going to be offloading contracts And then there's possibly going to be people selling physical silver at this high right here. I see online all the time people selling silver. Barton, you said really don't, because I'm a trader now and not a speculator. That's what I'm saying. Once you become a trader, man, you look at this shit differently. You don't want to get caught up buying this stuff at premiums. Let me come over here to the CME. Come over to the CME. Let's go to markets. Let's go to metals. Metals right here. Metals. And then we want to go right here. So you see gold, silver, platinum. Let's go look at the silver market. The ticker for silver is SIN5. SIN5. And I'm going to pull that up. Let's go ahead and pull that up. So come on back over to Trading View. What you're going to do is go to markets. You're going to type in SIN. Boom, just right there. Silver futures from COMEX. Boom, that's the futures contract for silver right there. You can see it running off higher. Let's go down to a, let's say, 15-minute time frame. This market is not 24 hours neither. So it's a 5 days a week type market. Come up here right quick. One second. All right, silver futures markets. Let's come back over here to CME. Let's get specs. Let's look at the specs for this contract. And let's zoom in right here. So minimum price fluctuation for silver. Every tick, which represents 1 troy ounce. So you see where it says 0.001? That represents troy ounces. So every time this fluctuates, that's $5. $5. This shit is very expensive. Gold is very expensive. So let's come back over to the chart. Remember that. Keep that in mind. We go over this all the time. Let's come back over here to silver futures. And let's just zoom in on price. Remember, every tick, price is over here all the way on the right here. It says 36.095. It just ticked up like $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, just like that. It was just at 0.90, and then it jumped up to 0.95. That was $25, just like that. Hopefully y'all understand that. Very expensive. So, for example, let me go look at an old price move right quick. Let's go out to the hourly. I might include this in the signal service as well, so we shall see. So what I want to look at is, see this BOSSI right here on the 1 hour? I'm going to highlight that. BOSSI. Buy side and balance, sell side inefficiency on the 1 hour. Okay. That is a discount. Remember, you want to be a buyer when price goes down. You see the sell off when it goes down. You want to look to accumulate up in here, and then the price eventually rallies off just like that. But we need some type of exit position. So we're going to look at this high. Above that high is buy side liquidity. So we're going to highlight that right there. So we're going to measure from entry up to this high, take profit. So what we need to do is go down to a 5 minute. Go down to a 5 minute. And on this 5 minute time frame, we're going to be patient. We're going to wait for price to come down. As it comes down, the protocol is, after it goes down to a discount, we want to see some type of displacement. Displacement is speed in the opposite direction. So we get that. We drop down a discount, and then boom, it goes with speed in the opposite direction. And you're going to look for some type of fair value gap. But let's look at this right here. You see this right here? Y'all tell me in the chat. What is this gap in space right here? What is that right here on the 5 minute time frame? We're going to highlight that right there. We're going to highlight that. Y'all tell me in the chat, what is that? Haven't called one of those in a while. Y'all tell me in the chat, what is that right there? There you go, Lenny. It's a volume imbalance. So we're going to use the volume imbalance as our entry. I'm not a fan. Like, I use volume imbalances, but they're not my favorite because They can go against you real quick. But for example, let's use this right here. There's a volume imbalance right there / BOSSVISION. So I'm gonna highlight that as well in case you missed that right there. I'm gonna use that one as well. But I'm gonna use the first one. So let's, for example, we're gonna place an entry, a buy order, and we're gonna hold for this high up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my entry tool or my long position tool right here, long position. I'm gonna put it at the top of the volume imbalance right there. The top of the volume imbalance. We want to set our risk. Our risk is our stop loss. So our stop loss will be this candle right here. This wick. I'm going to set it at the bottom of that wick right there. That's our stop loss. And then our take profit will be this old high up here. Right there. So eventually price, what? Goes up there, sweeps it, takes profit, right? So how many ticks was that? We're going to measure the ticks. So that was 131 ticks. 131 ticks of silver futures. We're trading silver futures, or we're just back testing. That's 131 ticks. So remember, every tick is $5. Every tick is $5. So y'all do the math in the chat. 5 times 132. And tell me what y'all get. Oh, y'all got 665, 655. Let me do this again. I got 660. Oh, am I doing something wrong? Yeah, I got 660. 5 times 132. I got 132. So 5 times 132. I got 660. Y'all got 655. I got 660. Catch up. You got 660. But anyway, we're gonna round it off. It's whatever. 60. You could have took profit early. So roughly between $660. And then our risk is 21 ticks. That's our risk. So you do the math on your risk. That's how much you're willing to lose on this trade. So you see the red highlighted area. You determine your risk first. Before you even look at your take profit, you want to determine your risk. And that's $660 if we was trading over here the futures contract for silver, which is every troy ounce, every tick is $5. So if you felt like you missed silver, so check it out. For the people that feel like, oh shit, I missed silver, it's higher than what it was like a few years ago. Okay. You want to hedge against it pretty much trading high. This is what institutions do. This is what professional traders do. People that go to, that are at firms. When silver or gold is at a premium and they're not willing to buy it at those premium levels, well, you can hedge against that and go into the futures market and capitalize on price fluctuation. So $660 right there. How many ounces of silver would that buy you right now? Even though you're not trying to, what you're doing is you're hedging against silver because it's at a premium. So now you're going in there to trade it and you're going to be stacking cash. You're going to be stacking capital for the next opportunity for silver to sell off. And with that capital, you can just scoop in and buy the physical metal, but you're going to come to the paper market and trade it for cash. You're going to trade the cash market, stack that cash for the next opportunity for it to dip, to present itself to buy the physical metal. Hopefully that makes sense. That's one strategy. That's one strategy that you can be deploying. So imagine doing that for every market. Imagine doing that. Imagine having an account, a savings account just for silver. Imagine having a savings account just for gold. Imagine having a savings account just for crypto. In every account, you learn this skill set. You know how to trade. For each account, you're going to be trading to build capital for those markets, those commodities, to present itself another discount opportunity. Right now, metals are not at a discount. They're at a premium. So what you should be doing right now is stacking capital, trading the derivatives market, building liquidity, building capital for the next opportunity for the commodities to come back down to a discount. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. that's more free game. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. And if you're interested in doing that, just click the link in the description for the Patreon, for the Signal service. And after it takes that profit, what does it do? It just breaks down just like that. But that's the silver market. These things work in all asset classes. And if you miss this volume imbalance down here, no problem. You just look for the next entry right here. Bring that up. Boom, just like that. And that would be your other entry if you missed the volume imbalance. So there's many entries in here. I can find dozens of them. So for example, here goes another entry right here. Another entry. Again, if you missed that, here goes another entry right here. If you missed that, here goes another entry right here. So dozens and dozens of opportunities, dozens of entry points. And then the interesting about futures, you can add more than one contract. So y'all take 660 times 5. We say you got enough equity, because if you don't know, I got it broken down in tiers in the Patreon. For example, the larger contracts, which that's the larger, see, they got micro silver, and then that's the full silver contract. So for people that with more capital, more equity, $10,000 and above, I'm gonna say between $10,000 to $100,000. People that are working with that type of capital and want to deploy that kind of capital into the markets, $10,000 to $100,000 above will allow you to go place multiple contracts. In the trading world, we call that pyramiding a trade. So you're pretty much putting on multiple contracts like a pyramid. So 5, 3. You can have dozens of contracts on one trade, especially if you had the capital to do that. So if you have $10,000 to $100,000 going up in here to silver and placing 5 contracts, that's nothing. And Barton, you said that's 3,300. That's 3,300. So 660 times 5, which will represent 5 contracts. Let me see if I can log in right quick. Let's go to paper trading. So for example, let's say you're logged into your account, for example, and you're looking to place a buy order. So what you would do over here in the top right, you select buy, and then where you see where it says units. So right now I got 1 highlighted, but where it says units, you will select 5, just like that. You would determine your stop loss, which is your risk, and you can adjust your take profit. So boom, just like that, which I didn't mean to come in here so early, but what I'm trying to represent is that's how you put on the contract. So, and this is a paper account as well. This ain't live, but this is 5 contracts, and you're essentially putting on more risk in the market. And that's exactly how you do that right there. Let me cancel that right quick. And for example, price is selling off. This is just blindly trading. I didn't do a full analysis intraday. So for example, I see this SIBI right here. Sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. We sell up into that. And now we're selling off. I see sell side liquidity right here. And let's drop down to a 1 minute. Maybe there's another entry on the 1 minute, on the 1 minute time frame. And if y'all just joining, man, make sure y'all smash that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Click the link in the description. Sign up to the Patreon. If you want to get more insights, more tools to your arsenal. And what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to see if silver will set up a clean. And look at this price action. It's real choppy, high resistance at the moment. When the price is like this, I like to zoom out a little bit. I like to zoom out. So we recently just traded up into a SIBI right here. Let me zoom out to the 5 minute. I don't like the 1 minute. 5 minute even choppy. High resistance. So nothing in here is clean for me. So whenever price is like that, I like to sit on the sideline. I don't like to force it. But let me see right quick. Let's see if it wants to trade back up into that. Let me set a limit order. Right there. Sell 5. So I got 5 contracts on this. Slide it down just for execution right there. It should have triggered. And for whatever reason, it didn't trigger the order. So let me go out to the 15-minute. Let's go out to the hourly. And yeah, stay out of this market right now. It's high resistance. Nothing clean about it at the moment. It's just chopping around. They didn't trigger my order. Let me see right quick. All right, that one triggered. That limit order triggered. So next thing I need to do, I need to set a stop loss. Stop loss. So I'm gonna take my stop loss up to this high right there. And this is just an example. I'm not taking this serious at all. This is just an example of how to place entries, and I'm showing the examples on how many contracts you can set, as many, however much equity that you have trading capital. That determines how much risk you can take, how much, how much risk you can take on every trade or whatnot. So that's all I'm trying to demonstrate. I have not done any futures analysis on silver at all. I'm just jumping in here blindly, and I'm just showing you execution. Let's go out to the daily. Go out to the daily time frame for silver. So on the daily time frame, we just came up, took out this high right here. And on the daily, it's a possibility that it continues to go higher to take out buy side liquidity. If it doesn't want to do that, we have a daily BOSSI right here below the market, daily BOSSI. So I'm highlighting that. And if you're just joining, this is the futures contract for silver. We just randomly got in a silver discussion. And now we're just analyzing silver futures because people have missed silver accumulating the metal. So I'm just showing people that, hey, if you miss trading the metal, buying the metal at a discount, then there's opportunities to come in here. And this trade is going to fail. I already can tell you it's going to fail. I'm not confident in this. I'm just quickly analyzing this. And it's high resistance conditions. So you already know the protocol. Whenever we're in high resistance liquidity conditions, that is not ideal to be in here in these conditions. You want to kind of let this pass. It's Sunday. It's also the beginning of the week. So the market really doesn't open until Monday for silver futures. So I'm just in here playing around. But that's the beauty about demo trading, where you can come in here and practice, because I'm not no silver trader. I'm not used to the volatility in silver, but I might want to come in here and start trading silver. Well, you got to come in here and practice your models to see, okay, which model is going to work best for you. So whenever the price is like this, even in demo, I go ahead and kill it, or I can just let it run, whatnot. I like to just kill it, because I like to remain real professional, even when I'm practicing. Let's go out to the 15-minute. Yeah, real ugly at all. Real ugly. Real ugly. Bart, you said practice, practice, practice. And yes, hopefully I'm encouraging y'all to come in here and practice as well. This is what y'all should be doing. It's free on TradingView. It's free to have a paper trading account. It's free. It doesn't charge you nothing. None of that. So y'all should be in here practicing, discovering yourself when it comes to this. I already know it's going to stop me out, and we're just going to watch this get stopped out. It's just a learning lesson. It's just a learning lesson. I already know the conditions of this market right now. It's high resistance, boom, just like that, stop out. Just like that, stop out. And I'm okay. It's all good. You can see the price move already happened. It happened, and then the market just fizzles out, goes into consolidation. It's the beginning of the week. The week hasn't even began, to be honest. It begins on Monday, New York session. So all this right here, this is not even worth it. This ain't worth nothing at all. I wouldn't even be in here normally on a Sunday. I'll be waiting for Monday. But that's silver. Hopefully y'all learned something on how to come over here and set executions where you can set units. Units represents contracts. If you're brand new, you should only be trading with one contract at a time. So one contract at a time. And that's it. Until you gain more experience. So that's silver. Gold, I already covered gold. I covered ZBEC. I covered XDC, XLM. Let's look at BTC. BTC. Again, we're going to be trading BTC futures. So let me go pull that up right quick. Micro BTC. Got micro gold. Let me pull it up right quick. BTC, I think it's, let me see. BTC futures. So, okay, right here, this is the Bitcoin futures contract. And let's go to the June contract. So this is what Bitcoin futures looks like. So this is the crypto contract, the crypto futures. So let's come over to CME. Let's go to markets. Let's go to cryptocurrency. And right here, BTC contract, BTC M5 right here. We're going to go to specs. And we're going to scroll down to where it says minimum price fluctuation. So for every dollar move in Bitcoin, that is $5. So every dollar move, $5. So that's the price. That's how much it costs. Or that's how much you're either risking or taking profit on, you know, either profit, P&L, your profit or loss, every tick, $5. So let's come back to Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin futures contract. This is the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we already dropped down, retraced to this volume imbalance and this BISI right there. So let me highlight that. Those were both discounts. Boom, just like that. Volume imbalance right there. So this week, since we already dropped down the discount last week, I'm going to be bullish. I want to see price come up, take out last week's high at minimum. Right now we're retracing. We can definitely come back down into this right here. So let's go down to a lower time frame. Let's go down to a 15-minute. On the 15-minute time frame, we got a new week opening gap. So that's more specific to futures, not really the crypto market. I could teach that in the Patreon. I have to get into that on the Patreon. So I'm going to leave that for the Patreon. What a new week opening gap is. I have taught it publicly. So as you can see, this was Friday's close. This candle right here, Friday's close. And this candle right here, Sunday's open. So what do you use with that information? You want to take the closing price from Friday, opening price from Sunday. Give it another color. And that is considered a new week opening gap. New week opening gap. You can see price, market's gap open. And it's running, it's trying to sell off. So on Sundays, I'm not interested in this. Again, wait till Monday for more intel. And on the 5-minute, that's what it looks like on the 5-minute. Very choppy, not clean at all. I'm bullish this week. Maybe it retraces down into this level right here and then goes higher. But what I want to do is, let me log in right quick. And I just want to place a order on this. I want to just see what the order looks like. So let's place an order. Let's do a market execution. Right there. So remember, every tick is $5. Every dollar move in Bitcoin. So right now it's 106.090. 106.090. Right now, there's not a lot of volume in this because it's Sunday. The market just opened. futures market just opened. You know, the crypto markets are 24/7. So right now it's just stagnant a little bit. Not really much going on. Let's go down to a 1 minute. And as you can see, that silver market has way more volume in it. Silver is moving around. Bitcoin not moving around as much. Not at the current moment because price just pretty much paused. And now I don't even see a timer neither. So I don't know what the hell is going on with Bitcoin futures. There's no timer on this. On the 5 minute, there's a timer, but on the 1 minute, there's no timer. So we'll come back to that in a minute. But that's Bitcoin futures. We're going to be focused on futures contracts, mainly the Nasdaq, mainly the S&P, mainly micro gold. Might throw some silver in there as well. But crypto, we need a little bit more volume to come to crypto. A little bit more volume to come to crypto. But other than that, man, shit, I pretty much covered it, pretty much everything to be covered so far. Let's come back to XRP. What was I looking at? Let's go back down intraday. Let's go down to the 15 minute. And there it is right there. Y'all see me call that real time. I said, hey, we're going to sell off. Come down to this 1 hour fair value gap. And then boom, previous session low from the AM session right here. So we had that happen. Don't panic if you're a long-term investor. Nothing to panic about. Go down to the 5 minute. I might let this run a little bit longer, but I got to get some rest. I'm kind of tired. But if y'all just joining, man, I definitely appreciate y'all joining. Subscribe to the channel if y'all brand new. Y'all press 1 if y'all ready for the signal service. Y'all let me know in the chat. If y'all ready for the signal service where we, trading these markets, y'all let me know. Also, let me know if y'all interested in anything that if y'all got any suggestions, like markets or anything, any markets that y'all interested in that are regulated, y'all let me know in the chat. Yeah, let me know if y'all got any suggestions, any questions. Do y'all have questions about the signal service? If y'all got any questions, let me know. I'm gonna try to make it go live or try to bring it live by the end of the month. Still got some kinks to work out or some details to put into it. But y'all definitely let me know if y'all got any questions. I guess nobody got any questions. I guess y'all just ready to go with it. It is 9:15, so we're in the 9 o'clock hour. So 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. That's the current hour we're in. Barton K, you said, what does my subscription cover for the $40? Are you talking about, let me go over here to the Patreon right quick. So which tier do you have, Barton? Which tier do you have? Are you in this? So I got different membership tiers. So for the $40, that's the beginner tier. So let me pull this up right quick. 1 second. Are you in there already, Barton? I don't know if you're in there. Y'all give me 1 second. It sounds like you haven't, Barton. Are you signed up to the Discord? Are you linked into the Discord? Are you in the Discord? Because some of y'all, I don't think y'all are finding y'all way to the Discord. See, you're not even finding your way to the Discord. So Barton, so right here, you see this right here? This is what you're going to be getting for the $40 tier. The $40 tier. See, this is private lessons. These are all lessons that I deal with. These are all content. So when you pay for the 40, you have access to the community. And then this is behind the scenes. This is what you're paying for. All these lessons that I go into detail. That's the problem, man. Y'all got to sign up to the Discord. Message me, Bart. When you get done, message me. I will walk you through that process. You have to get into the Discord to get access to the content. And maybe I gotta figure out a way to convey that a little bit better. I gotta do something with that. Message me so I can get you into the Discord. And then once you get in the Discord, these are the private lessons. These are all individual lessons that you can walk through and take your time with and learn. So when you pay for the 40, you got access to the community, and then you got access to the content. And then hopefully that makes sense. Let me know, Barton. Y'all privately message me so I can get you in the Discord. And then I'm working on still to this day. I still got the pro lessons coming, which I'm still working on that. Pro lessons on the way. These are the pro lessons still being under production, but again, pro lessons. So you see pro lessons, I already got content produced. I'm still producing the pro lessons. So the pro lessons are definitely on the way. Bart, you said, thank you. Believe me, the 40 just watching the free YouTube was worth it. Now you definitely got to get into the private. Once you watching the free is definitely helping, but if you get into the private Discord and get the beginner lessons, that's going to bring it together even more. So everything, it kind of brings it together. I'm kind of like not on point, like teaching like I am in the private lessons, but definitely if you are in the Patreon and you watch the content like right here, you get more insight, you get more practice and whatnot. Because when I'm doing live streams on YouTube, that's more entertainment. I'm really just entertaining and trying to, I'm giving real value, but I'm not deep diving like I am in the private lessons. So when you get the private lessons, you get the full deep dive. So, but I just want to let y'all know the pro lessons are in production, but I got so much handling. I got so much going on at one time. You got real life to handle. And then I got other products that I'm creating as well. So those are the pro lessons still under construction. I'm just letting y'all know. I mentioned it before. Here they are. Still building it out. Not complete. But the beginner lessons, like right here, still building it out. Not complete. But that's roughly around 20 videos right there. 20 videos of technical analysis breakdown. Some of y'all already been through this. So shout out to y'all that have been through this. The people that have been through this, it can tell in the live stream. The ones that participate and they be on point, those are the people that went through the private lessons. If you have not got access to the Discord, y'all message me. Message me on Patreon and I will walk y'all through the process. Let me read the comments. Lenny, you said, if you are on the 40 per month and decide to do the signals, can we still have access to the lessons? I think I have to include that, Lenny. I think I'm gonna include that. So for example, I'm still trying to build it out, man. I'm thinking about like, okay, how can I package certain things? Because I'm still working on the pro lessons. So my original thing was to do the pro lessons, beginner lessons, and then combine the both of them. The signals are something completely different. So signal services, that's a whole different package, a whole different product. That's a whole different complete setup. The signal services are going to have its own lessons or tutorials. They're going to have their own tutorials. So just think of these as each, besides the community tier, the beginner lessons are their own thing. That's like more educational content. Like I'm a teacher. I got my digital content and you study it at your own pace. You study that at your own pace, okay? And then the pro lessons, I'm still creating that. You're going to study that at your own pace. And then what I was thinking about was combining them both, where I create a tier just for that, where I combine them both, where you got access to both. And then the signals are more action-based. So the signals aren't so much studying, it's actually putting money to work into the market. And I see at the end of it, I got signals all access, where you can have access to the minis, the crypto, in the micro. So since I'm getting feedback that y'all might want all of it. Y'all might want the signals and the lessons. That means I would have to create a whole different tier just for that. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Let me know. Just let me know. I had to create it. But I definitely appreciate the feedback. But all of this is a work in progress. All of this is a work in progress. I'm a one-man show and I'm building it out. I want to give y'all if you're in the matter of fact, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. If you're in the Discord already, I will give y'all a preview of what the signals look like. I will give you a preview of what the signals look like. Just message me. I'll show y'all what it looks like. But I don't want to reveal other things if I show y'all on live. I don't want to do that. Daryl, yes, like a bundle. Barton K, you said thank you. I will get it done tomorrow. My wife and dogs want to disown me. Love the game. Okay, I appreciate it, Barton. Just let me know. Like I said, if y'all got any questions, y'all let me know, man. If y'all got any questions now, let me know. Anybody else got questions? Daryl, you got a question? Yes. So for the signals, I already got it bundled up. All right. For the signals, I already got it bundled up where you can get access to all of these different markets. Right here. It's actually undervalued, which I'm trying to be reasonable with whatnot. And each tier is based on your capital. Each tier is based on how much equity you're working with. So I get the questions all the time. If I'm trading futures, how much should I start with? Well, it depends on what market you're trying to trade. So they got micros. You can start between 500 to 5,000. Crypto it ranges. Crypto futures, 500 to 5,000 or more. And then when you're trading minis, you should have at least 10,000 to 100,000 in capital. Everybody is different. All right, peace out, Barton. Peace out. But y'all check it out. I'm still working on it. I'm building it out. I think it's going to be, I think y'all going to enjoy it for the ones that want to get into this. So like I said, don't confuse the lessons with the signals because the signals are its own product, its own service within itself. The lessons are pretty much getting access to what I know without having me to like walk you through everything, like going live. It's already pre-recorded content, etc. I got more. The pro lessons are coming, but again, it takes time to create the content and whatnot, and also creating other shit as well. Also going live, also trading my own capital. Because when I'm trading, me personally, when I'm trading, I like to isolate myself. I don't like the distractions or whatnot. I like to just be isolated and focus on my personal trading. So when I'm personally trading, I like to be locked in. I don't like to be out front like that. I like to just be locked in. And when I'm doing the signals, I will be locked in. It's almost like me trading by myself. And then you got life shit. Just like Barton, he got life shit happening. You got family, you got weddings to go to, you got funerals to go to, you got all these things that you got children, you got all these things that's happening in life. So just y'all be patient. When it's all complete and done with, it's going to be one full service. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Yeah, Daryl, life be lifing, man. Life be lifing. Kwame, you say ZBEC bought a compliance company, Gate Knox, and they're applying for MICA and FCA. We shall see. We shall see. I already went over ZBEC. If you missed it, I went over ZBEC. I gave my analysis on ZBEC. Go check it out. Rewatch the live stream. Let me see right quick. Let me see if I can give y'all a sneak peek in the Discord. Some of y'all are already in there. All right, let me show y'all right quick. All right. This is the Precision Academy. If y'all don't know, this is the Discord. This is the Precision Academy. This is the name of my Discord server, the Precision Academy. This is what it looks like on the inside. Some of y'all don't have access to all this because once you purchase a tier, you get access to these different channels. Okay, so when you first sign up, this is the welcome and disclaimer channel. Welcome and disclaimer. You get a disclaimer, you get a welcome. You get all access to how to function, connect your Discord to the Patreon. You got access to my Patreon channel. You got access to my YouTube channel. And then, okay, we got community. For y'all that sign up for the community tier, this is what it looks like. It's still a work in progress as well. Y'all tell me in the chat anything y'all want added to the community tier. But so far, most everybody be in the server, in the community lounge. So everybody be in the community lounge. We got a crypto charts channel. We got crypto channel, etc. Different channels. We got documentaries in here. So I got like financial documentaries, anything I find interesting, documentaries and whatnot. This is just the lounge community where we chat, you know, kick it as a community. But then the products, see, for example, beginner. So you got access to the lessons. The lessons are inside this. You got access to the chat. You got access to the charts. But mainly the main thing you're buying is the lessons, which I just showed y'all on YouTube. That's the lessons. And then, okay, signals. So I got the signals broken up. I got the signals for beginners. No, I mean, I got the signal service. I got a welcome. So the signal service is its own thing. The signal service is its own thing. So it's not the same as the beginner lessons. I'm creating tutorial videos for this, and then got updates. Well, underneath that, depending on what tier you go with, I got the micro, the mini, and the crypto futures. So for example, micro. So far, I got micro. We got a chat in there. We got the micro S&P, micro Nasdaq, micro gold. I'm gonna add more when I see need fit. We got the minis, micro S&P, micro Nasdaq, micro gold, crypto. We got a chat. We got Bitcoin. We got micro Bitcoin. We got XRP, micro XRP, Ethereum, micro Ethereum. And let me see right quick. So for example, this is what it would look like when you get a signal. So I will set a signal, and then it will send the alert inside of whatever market we're trading. It will send you an alert. Let me remove that right quick. 1 second. So for example, down here where it says alert, we send the alert. It will fire off whenever I see a market. I set an alert. So for example, let me see right quick. Just any random market that I'm in. For example, let's just say Bitcoin, whatever. What I'm doing on my end is I'm going to alert. I find a setup, and then I send an alert in TradingView. I'll send up in here in the message section. I'll tell you entry, position, long, etc. And then I will create that alert. And guess what that alert does? It goes directly to the the Discord. It goes directly to the Discord and fires off that alert. And you will get your entry price, your stop loss, take profit, and the time frame we're entering on, just like that. So hopefully that makes sense for y'all. Does that sound seamless to y'all? Does that make sense? And what you're doing on your end, you're going to be signed up to your broker. You're going to be signed up with your broker. You're going to have capital already deployed. You're going to have your own capital. I'm not trading your money. You're going to have your own capital based on whatever tier you're in. You're going to have your capital deployed in your broker account, and you're pretty much just sitting back waiting for a signal that I see fit for a trade setup. You're going to be sitting. And it's not financial advice neither. It's just based on my analysis, my trades that I see fit. Y'all just pretty much want to copy my trade. And that's what's going on, just like that. So some people don't have time. First of all, I never thought of this until people started asking me about it and doing this. And me and ChatGPT then spent a lot of hours. ChatGPT has helped me create something. So this is all from scratch. This is a business that ChatGPT has pretty much hand to hand created for me. And I pretty much built this out from scratch on my own. Nobody, with no help, just me and artificial intelligence. And I think it makes sense because a lot of people been asking me for months now, months and months. Like, man, there's been people that ask me to just trade their money for, like, man, I'm gonna give you my money and let you just manage my money. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I would never want to manage nobody else's money. But I've been having some wild offers for the past couple of years, to be honest. So what solution can I solve? Well, here goes a signal service. This is a solution for people who don't have time to sit in front of markets all day, watch charts all day. Even people that have been through my lessons still don't have time in the day to pretty much participate full time. And at the end of the day, people are trying to grow capital. People are trying to build capital and whatnot. So I appreciate it if y'all are interested in this and y'all looking forward to it. It's on the way. That's a sneak peek preview if y'all are interested. But any more questions before I head up out of here, man? Any more questions? Any more questions? Because I'm here to answer them now. You get me while you can. If y'all are in the Patreon, send me a message if y'all not in the Discord. Because I figured some of y'all are not getting in there because I don't see some of y'all that are purchasing the tiers, y'all not participating, and I don't see y'all. So y'all probably are not signed up for the Discord. So if y'all haven't signed up, message me in Patreon and I'll get y'all signed up. XRP just still doing this thing. But other than that, man, shoot. Y'all get ready for the week. I'm looking forward to the end of the quarter. It's been a hot summer already, so hopefully y'all have been to the beach. Hopefully y'all been to a swimming pool. Hopefully y'all are staying hydrated. Hopefully y'all taking care of y'all health. Shout out to a crypto influencer that just passed away. What's his name? Y'all tell me in the chat. I have seen him before. And I want to say rest in peace to that man because I watched his content before. And take care of y'all health, man. Health is wealth. What's his name, man? Y'all tell me in the chat. Will Fix? Okay, Will Fix. Let's go to his channel. Rest in peace to that man right there. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. So, Will Fix, 28,000 subscribers. I'm sure his legacy was greater than just YouTube. He definitely did some great content, alternative content as well. So he wasn't like a lot of people. Like he did his thing, man. But shout out to him. Shout out to him. And rest in peace, rest in power, man. Rest in power. That's unfortunate, man. Like I pray everybody take care of your health, man. Stay conscious of your health. And man, this man was hardcore about XRP, and he seen the future. And I wish he would have lived to see that future manifest itself. So I pray that for everybody as well. Everybody that's watching me, I pray that y'all stay alive, stay healthy, taking care of yourself so that y'all can see the life that y'all want to see in this world. Cause life ain't guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Life is short. It ain't guaranteed. So y'all definitely y'all be mindful, man. Be mindful and stay healthy. Stay up. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. Well, health is wealth. Health is wealth. Me personally, I've been juicing. So I've been spending the month juicing. So one of my go-tos is watermelon season where I'm at. So if y'all don't know this, I'm gonna give y'all a little combination. And it's very healthy for you. Watermelon, pineapple, and limes. Y'all create a juice. Y'all go buy you a juice presser, a cold press juicer, and get you a watermelon, get you some pineapples, and get you some limes. And you're gonna blend that together. That's a powerful juice right there. And the watermelon is pretty much the base. So watermelons are full of water and shit. That's go for a walk. So all summer I went swimming today. That's probably why I'm a little bit tired. I've been swimming the past 2 days. So I've been doing my laps in the pool. Man, I got burnt out in the pool today, man. I was swimming and shit, I burnt out. Like, I was trying to do laps in the pool, and shout out to the Olympic swimmers out there, man, because that ain't easy. Swimming is not easy at all, especially when you're trying to do laps in the water. And yeah, definitely the seeded ones. The seeds are good for your heart or whatnot. Definitely don't get the GMO watermelons. Get you the seeded watermelons. But definitely, man, shout out to this man right here, man. Shout out to him and his wife and his kids and his legacy. Shout out to him. Love your loved ones. Love on your loved ones. Love your children. Love your mother. You love your father. Love your wife. Love your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit ain't guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? I know we all want to be crypto rich. A lot of us fantasize a lot as well, but in reality, life ain't gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. And I'm not trying to manifest that or talk that up, but you don't know what cards life is gonna give you. So you gotta stay healthy, man. Just stay positive. I don't know what else to tell you, but I appreciate y'all joining, man. I'll be looking forward to going live next time, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.